localism, memory, and what happens when waves become public property. It looks like a surf fight, but it started long before anyone paddled out. For a long time, some coastlines felt transparent to the surf world. Not ignored, just not taken seriously. No magazine spreads, no surf films, no iconic names spoken with reverence. Just waves. And the people who learned them the slow way. Being off the map wasn't always a blessing. It felt like watching surf history happen somewhere else. Generations grew up surfing the same reefs and points, with no recognition and no expectation of it either. They weren't chasing fame, they just didn't want to feel disposable in a culture that celebrated everything but them. Then exposure arrived. Not as understanding, but as volume. A coastline became content. A session became a must surf. What had been built on patience and local knowledge was suddenly treated like a product. What took decades to learn was consumed in a scroll. The rhythm changed. The balance shifted. This isn't new. Surf history warned us. Look at Malibu. It didn't lose its magic overnight. It lost it wave by wave, surfer by surfer. Today it doesn't matter how local you are, how long you've surfed it, or how well you know the lineup. It's not hostile. It's saturated. A place that still breaks perfectly, but rarely works. Or Mundaka, one of the most technical lefts in Europe. A wave built on timing, precision, and respect. Today, even the most local surfer struggles to surf it properly. Not because of outsiders alone, but because volume erased hierarchy. When everyone has access, no one really has control. This is the paradox. First, frustration for not being seen. Then, resentment for being seen too much. Visibility didn't arrive as balance. It arrived as traffic. Crowded lineups don't just feel uncomfortable. They change behaviour. They change how waves are negotiated. What used to be shared through understanding becomes contested through force. Localism doesn't appear overnight. It grows slowly, fed by repetition, loss of access, and the feeling of being displaced in a place that shaped you. Sometimes that pressure stays quiet. Sometimes it turns ugly. Recently, in 2025, in the Canary Islands, a visiting surfer from Venezuela was violently assaulted by a local after a confrontation in the water. That moment wasn't about nationality. It wasn't about skill level. It wasn't about a single wave. It was a surface crack in something that had been building for years. Violence solves nothing. Isolation protected something fragile. Not secrecy, but balance. And balance doesn't survive sudden attention. Surf loves to talk about freedom. But freedom without context often turns into entitlement. Violence solved nothing. It doesn't protect waves and it doesn't fix overcrowding. It only makes things worse. From this channel, that's clear. We don't support aggression. We never will. But rejecting violence doesn't mean ignoring reality. Most conflicts in the water don't come from hate, they come from ignorance. Surf has rules, unwritten but real. Priority, positioning, respect for experience earned wave by wave. There's nothing wrong with being a beginner. There is something wrong with being a kook who paddles straight into the main peak without knowing how a lineup works. Respect isn't about where you're from, it's about how you behave in the water. Know the rules, earn your place. Don't step over years of experience, because the ocean doesn't care who you are. But the lineup always remembers how you showed up.